say who paid for it, and it will make them tell when an ad was paid for by someone independent. And it requires candidates other than federal, who already have to do this, to appear and say that they approve this message. So the public really wants disclosure. Yes. Here's another 84%. There was a poll, done a field poll in 2011, and 84% said yes. In answer to this, do you favor this change? Said they favor it. Increase the public disclosure requirements of initiative sponsors to more clearly identify who are its major funders. And there's, in fighting back against Citizens United, you know, there's a move to amend. There's all kinds of organizations getting behind that, politicians also. It's going to take a long time now. The California Disclose Act doesn't need to wait for something like that. California can do this if they have the political will. Oh yes, and it is constitutional. Actually, 8 out of 9 justices of the Supreme Court in making their devastating Citizens United decision actually came out in favor of disclosure. They agreed that it was problematic when groups run ads, quote, while hiding behind dubious and misleading names, and unquote, and that we need transparent disclosure for voters, quote, to make informed decisions in proper weight to different speakers and messages, unquote. Now, guess who said this? Requiring people to stand up in public for their political ads fosters civic courage, without which democracy is doomed. Who do you think said that?
Rule.
That's a little far afield. He may not have said that. Actually, yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, I read it.
Or, good for you.
Should have said that. Just so impressed.
Justice
Full
Antonin.
disclosure, Martha.
Justice Antonin Scalia said that. Yeah. So they came in favor of course, they're not legislators and they can't do anything about it. So now we come to what's going on with the Disclose Act? What is going on? So and what happened so far and what's going on now? It's passed the Assembly, Elections Committee and Appropriations Committee, totally on party lines. All the Democrats on those committees voted yes. All the Republicans voted no. There may have been a Democrat who abstained, but it totally party lines. And now it's up for a vote on the Assembly floor, and the bill has been amended to be a 2/3 majority vote. So it needs 2/3 on the Assembly floor to pass. We have the votes of, supposedly, of all the Democrats and 1 independent. That's 1 vote short of what it needs to pass. And despite massive grassroots efforts of constituents phoning Republican Assembly people, maybe some of you even helped do that, not 1 Republican has said they would vote for it. So we're like, well, what do we do now? There's something that can be done, and believe me, the Democratic leadership, specifically John Perez, they're not angels in this. He could do this. He could change the bill to a majority vote. He could do that. There's time to do it. He could do it. He's a co-author, but yet he has not made this a priority. You have your little action sheets. Call him and say, please call his office and say, do this. He's a co-author, but he's not doing everything he can to pass the thing. Here's a question. I told you Jerry Hill is really great. Some of you are Fiona Ma constituents. Who's constituent of Fiona Ma? Anyone? Great. Because she's in the leadership too. She's the Speaker Pro Tem of the Assembly. As such, you please call her and ask her to urge Speaker Perez to do this. She's a co-author too. Also, why the majority passage is kind of guaranteed is we have more than a majority of Democrats who are co-authors. So that, they've co-authored, they're going to vote yes, and it could pass that way. Now, if under 2/3 vote, it would be great if that could happen, and then it would have the battle in the Senate. If it passed that and got signed by Jerry Brown, then it could be a law the next day. I mean, that would be great. But realistically, we don't have this 1 Republican vote. So, making it a majority, this is how the laws go right now, because it's modifying the Political Reform Act of 1974. So making it a majority vote bill would mean it would have to also pass the Senate, and then automatically the legislature would put it on the ballot, and it would go before the voters. And that, since so many people, way more than approve public financing, do want disclosure, it has a very good chance of passing. So this is kind of, I'm just going to finish here and then ask for questions, but I'm reminded in this of Martin Luther King Jr., what he said. I was reminded actually when the president finally came out in support of gay marriage. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice." And that's the only way I can work, is to volunteer like this, is to believe that. So, questions? Yes?